So I'm with Abdul MANACK. I met Abdul at the Woman of Wonder Awards, Panache Woman of Wonder Awards, I think 2 years ago. And he's been one of my great mentors. He's got such a high vibration and such positivity around him. And I found him right here today and I decided to interview him. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm excited. Yes, she says I'm a mentor or something to that effect, but today I'm going to do something completely different. Zaki always asks people questions. Wherever I go, when I put on Instagram, I see Zaki there interviewing at different events and doing some great work in Lodium. So I'm going to turn the questions around today. Zaki, today, on this beautiful day here on Saturday in Lodium, what a bake-off. When you see 6 different kids from different schools coming together and baking, and then suddenly auctioning it off and making a difference. What a wonderful event. Tell me, how did this all start?
Okay, this started with literally 2 months ago. It started 2 months ago. We started planning and organizing this whole event. We had the celebrities that baked off. We sent off boxes to them with mystery ingredients, which was avocado and ilachi, and then they had to bake off. And then, but they did it in the confines of their homes, and they raised a lot of money, inshallah, regarding that with their post and so forth. And then the second part was the bake off with the kids from the schools, and I think that was so empowering because for youngsters to come out here and in front of judges and in front of the media and come and show your skills, I think that takes a lot of power, a lot of power.
You talk of a lot of power. When children are together, today's learners can develop and become tomorrow's leaders. How do they become tomorrow's leaders? They become by giving an opportunity. They become by upskilling. Today, they baked. They then had ingredients. What a beautiful initiative. How is this? What's the next step from here?
Okay, the next step from here is that for them to for them to realize that it's not about winning or losing. It's about being part of the initiative, part of giving from yourself to the community. I think if they have taken that from this initiative today, then I have succeeded.
Well, if you have succeeded today, I want to see your involvement in the community is a very, very, very big one. And you are very involved in the community. Just share to us, Zaki, I see you on Instagram and a lot of people, I want to get to know, and people want to know, who is Zaki? How did this journey start? What inspired your lab? What inspired the start? Last time you said we met at an event, you said you're going to kickstart something. In 2 years' time, you've got right into the community and made a difference. How did today start? Tell us, how did the journey start to today?
It's been a long, long, tedious journey. There's been a lot of hurdles. There's been jealousy. There's been closing of doors. There's been hatred. There's been literally, things going on. It's been a rough journey. I've lost loved ones. I've gained a lot of love. I've learned so much during this journey, and I think that's where I am today. It's from learning and losing.
You talk of learning and losing. What are the lessons you learned? Yes, many of you are in the limelight. Many of you are in social media, but when you're in social media, it's not just the glitz, the glamour. Is it a happy ride? Is it just you go up, rock up, show up, people are smiling and happy to see you? Or is there a backlash?
There's always a backlash. That backlash will always be. And it is only for the ones that are powerful enough, for the ones that are strong enough, for the ones that are made with metal or with steel in their hearts that can fulfill this journey. Because the backlash is far worse than the positivity that comes out with it.
I think this is an important lesson. And when you talk of backlash, what are the lessons you learned? So people that are there interviewing, people who are there in the limelight, how do they stand up against these backlashes? How did you stand up? What are the lessons you learned in your journey so far?
So I realized that I'm not even thinking. I'm literally talking my heart out here. You don't. What you do for the pleasure of Allah. That's the reason you do it, and you will not get no gratification. You will get no thanks. You will get no applause. All you will get is, like you said, a backlash. And after that, that's the lessons that I've learned. And if you are strong enough to go with that, then so be it. Then you are the chosen one.
So, being the chosen one, and is this going to stop you? What is the way forward? How are you going to, what is the lesson that taught you to keep going? Or when people throw stones at you, make it difficult for you, what message do you have for people out there to resist, to stand up, and show up again every day with the smile that you have today, and coming here even though you were last week maybe taunted, or maybe had difficulties with people in the past, or even going back and further back? How do you come every morning, reset yourself, restart yourself?
So I restart myself, I think, at 4 o'clock with Tahajjud, and I pray to Allah to give me the power, or to give me the tenacity to carry on for today, just for today. And all those stones, then I go outside and I collect all that stones and I build my empire.
That is the attitude you need. Sometimes when people push you, you don't push harder at them. You actually step back. By stepping back, people will say you're losing. But are you losing?
No, I don't think you've lost. I think giving is one of the greatest gifts that anyone can possess. That once you start to give of yourself, that makes you a winner. So you've never lost. Whatever you've given, whatever people have taken from you, whatever they've taken by hash from you, whatever they've taken for granted from you, whatever they've taken in a bad way from you, I think that is not a loss. That has put you 10 steps forward. And if you can use that as a lesson, and I'm saying this to all young women out there and the men, there's a lot of good men out there. If you can take this as a lesson to move forward, then hats off to you.
So you've got a hat on today. And hats, keep the hat on. What you're doing is inspiring people. Don't stop what you're doing. When people push you, don't be, just keep going, keep doing what you're doing. I always, when I watch Instagram, I see suddenly there you are in the community and taking on the hard issues, standing up and setting the platform from the world record and going on to all local events. I think if you keep doing what you're doing, and when you said you wake up in the morning and you pick up the stones and build an empire, tell me about the empire. What's the journey forward for you? What's the new journey as today you're building this empire? Where do you see yourself from now as you go forward in your journey?
Okay, now this is the hot seat questions, Abdul. This is the tough questions. I call it, my favorite word right now is maktub. And maktub means, it comes from the alchemist, and it's in the Quran as well. And maktub means it is written. So whatever is written, whatever it is, good or bad, and I've learned to take it day by day. I've lost one of my pillars, my greatest, or I would call her my spine. I've lost her recently, and it's a very tough time right now because it's going to be 1 year. And in this year, I've realized that it's written. Whatever is written, maktub, that's it. Whether it's good or bad, it is meant, and that is what Allah has ordained for you, and that is how your journey will transpire.
You say you're in the hot seat, and I won't stop putting you more on the hot seat. And this, you touched me now. I also lost a close one. I lost my dad about a year ago. A lot of people are going through a tough time. And you're always asking this question to everyone else. And a lot of people go through loss of mom, dad, brother, sister. How do they cope? How do you cope? Yes, it's not easy. And yes, we have faith that everyone, to Allah we shall return. And He gives us this hope. What hope do you give to people out there? How have you coped with this loss? And yes, a year is gone and it's tough. How do you stand up every day and keep going, knowing that you're leaving a legacy of someone that set you up and helped you in this process? What message do you have for people out there for losses?
So for those of you out there who has lost a loved one or so forth, I think they're in a better place, and I think that should be your sole complacency, your sole happiness, that they are in a better place, and that one day you're going to be with them. And don't be selfish. Let them be with the others. Let them have time with the others. We've had them, and I make shukr for the time that I've had my sister with me, who was my spine. And now she's gone to my mom and my dad and my other siblings. And I think, why must you be selfish? You can share. If we share here on earth, why can't we let them be there and be happy there? And I think, you know what? Like I said, Maktub, everything is written. There's a time for us to be here and a time for us to be there. And I think I think people get tired. And I've seen the tiredness in her eyes. And I realized I realized I had to let go, and I had to be strong. And that's it. That's what advice I give you. You need to be strong. That's what you need to be. You need to be strong.
I sensed emotion when you said let go. You know, when you talk of let go, is it easy? Can people let go? What happens when they let go?
No, let going is not easy. It is not easy. It is a fight within you, within your heart, your soul, your stomach, your brains, your limbs, your every part of your body. There's a fight that goes on each and every minute of the day. But like I said, it's when you come to that realization that they are in a better place and you are going to meet again. That is when it takes a lot of you. It takes fighting, it takes tears, it takes banging things, it takes breaking things, it takes silence, it takes screaming, it takes so much out of you. It drags every last breath out of you. But when you come to that realization that you're going to meet again, and I think that's when you reach that pinnacle and you make ease with it, and you realize that, you know what, she's there and she's fine.
Wow, I'm sure you're inspired. If you ever want to let go, the freedom of let going is unbelievable, but you have to go through those hurdles. You have to punch, you have to fight, you have to do everything to do that. If today you are inspired to let go, if you're inspired by this message, to start, let go. Secondly, wake up, dress up, show up, and I'll say put the hat on, and you can make life worthwhile. You know, as we end, what is your parting word? What makes you smile? What makes you happy? What inspires you? Making a difference is one of them. What are the other things that Zaki does in her free time that makes her someone else, that allows you to smile and just unwind?
Okay, Zaki is a woman of many hats. I love cooking. I love baking. I'm a very good cook. I'm a very good baker. I sew all my clothes on my own. I'm a bargain hunter. I paint. I collect vintage furniture. I redo the vintage furniture. The last thing on my list to do now is to buy a second-hand beetle and learn to spray paint it. First to buff it and then spray paint it.
So if you have a beetle out there and you want it sold, here's a bargain. You got a lady who's in need. This is ABDUL MANACK. I was quite inspired. I was inspired by Zaki, by her journey, and I'm sure you are. What are the lessons you learned? What are the lessons you can take from here? Every day, I believe, is a chance to change. Is today the day you change? Because if you do, your life will change, like Zaki has. If people throw stones at you, and the message I take, build an empire with its stones. Zaki, thank you so much for an awesome time. Sorry for coming in and taking your interview over and changing the whole tone of this interview, but thank you so much, and your parting words.
Thank you so much for having me on your show, Mr. Manack. I'm truly honored to be invited to be part of your show. And to all of you out there, keep going. Stay humble, stay beautiful, and stay happy.